Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
It's tax day. I hope you got your return filed. Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. And he's got the rundown.
Nevada's Millennium Scholarship is funded by money from cigarette companies. When an Illinois judge ordered Philip Morris to put up millions of dollars in a bond, it threatened our income. We talked to State Treasurer Brian Krolicki and find out about his fix for the problem, and then we bring you an update. And Warren Hardy is a newly elected senator from Las Vegas, but it's not his first trip to the legislature. We'll find out how taxes short-circuited his political career. Sam?
Thanks, Andy. And coming up on the Pundit panel today, Jack Vergiels, Mary Lau, and Daryl Capurro. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Today's lesson, another reason to take the Gold Rush Club Card Challenge. With the Gold Rush Card, you really have 3 cards in one. Use your cash back. You still keep your comps and drawing tickets. Use your comps. You still keep your cash and drawing tickets. And with your drawing tickets, you could win thousands in cold hard cash every week. And still keep your cash back and comps. Does your club add up? Graduate to the Gold Rush Players Club. It's the smart thing to do. The Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
The biggest risk your company can take.
Well, Barbara, you did very well on your interview.
Hiring employees can help your business get to the next level.
And your resume looks outstanding.
And it can also expose you to corporate crimes and costly lawsuits that can bring your company to its knees.
So, we'd like to offer you a position.
Before you hire another employee, hire the professionals at Employer Links. Call today to get our free CD-ROM, The Top 8 Risk of Hiring Employees.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
The headline in the Las Vegas Review-Journal editorial says, "Going up in smoke, class action lawsuit in Illinois threatens Nevada tobacco money." State Treasurer Brian Krolicki is here to talk about that and other topics.
Thank you, Brian, for being with us
Good
today.
morning. You're very welcome.
Can you tell us where do we stand? A bill, I think, just passed out of the legislature helping to address this problem. Is that correct, with the Millennium Scholarships and
Absolutely. A
tobacco
bill
money?
passed, but we're still dependent on the money and the funding, and there's still a case pending in Illinois regarding Philip Morris and a case in a county in Illinois that essentially could bankrupt Philip Morris and threaten all the funding that we enjoy, from the tobacco settlement here in Nevada, and that includes the Millennium Scholarship and things like the Senior Prescription Drug Program.
So you've come up with a plan, though, to address this.
We came up with a plan a couple years ago, and we're trying it. The third time is hopefully a charm, but essentially it's to securitize these monies, and what that means is these payments that we are scheduled to receive over the next 25 years, just over $1 billion, we'd essentially take all of those future payments, package them today, and sell them to the marketplace. So essentially, the state is not in the risk business of that tobacco industry. It's the most litigious industry. The amounts of money that we receive are contingent upon the amount of smoking. So, we as a state are in the funny position of people who smoking less is a bad thing from a financial standpoint. So we're hoping to sell these future payments. 2 years ago, if we would have had a chance to do it, it passed the Senate. Didn't quite make it in the assembly. Hopefully this time we'll accomplish that. But we've left $100 million on the table by not doing it 2 years ago. But it's still something we should have as a tool.
Let me clarify this, because I'm not sure everybody understands. When you say we left $100 million on the table, that means that because we didn't package all these loans up and try and sell them for less money than what they're worth, we've lost some money. Is that correct?
You're absolutely right. The value of the stream of payments over 25 years, but at that price 2 years ago, was about $450 million. That's what we would have had in the state cookie jar, so to speak. We tucked the money away to fund all of the programs that we're doing. If we do the same transaction today, we believe it's worth about $350 million. So that's my $100 million on the table.
Okay, and this is basically going out to bondholders, correct?
Yes,
all right.
Absolutely.
On the other hand, though, Brian, I mean, this is not the first sort of sleight of hand you've been able to come up with and help save the state, but the
we use another term, sleight of hand.
The New York Times, though, did a study and took a look at returns as far as investments on kids' college educations, and Nevada had the worst rate of return.
That was absolutely not true. We have two different kind of college savings plans. One is a college savings plan, and there are about 60 different mutual funds that are part of that family. So if you go to nevadatreasure.com, say you want college savings, you have about 60 different investment choices. We also have the prepaid college tuition program, which is a guaranteed rate to meet. My 3 daughters are in the program, and I have every confidence that that program is doing exactly what it needs. But one of those 60 funds in the college savings side was underperforming the S&P 500 by about 0.5%. And it was one of the aggressive funds. So I think it was doing marvelously because it was more aggressive than the S&P. But it's a tremendous way to save for college because it's tax advantaged and it's for a long term.
We're talking about saving money, which we weren't, but we will. One of the ideas that's been floated over the last few years is getting rid of the state controller's office. State controller was on the program here, and she suggested that in 3 states, at least at this point, it's not the state controller's job that's disappeared, but it's actually your job.
Thanks for the softball, Sam. It's the different offices really goes back to the creation of the state. It was a check and balance. I don't know if I'm the check or the balance. But not in today's age, the technologies that are available, the bank codes, the security aspects, having 2 separately elected constitutional officers, fiscal officers, is probably a relic. So I think whether you call it the controller or treasurer or chief financial officer, I don't think it matters. I think it can be done, and I think you can save, our estimates are about $500,000 a year. So that's, especially when times are tight, that's significant. But I think that's a decision that will certainly be left up to the people because they'd have to change the Constitution. But if you want to save $500,000 but get rid of either a check or balance, I think that's for them to decide.
State Treasurer Brian Krolicki, thank you so much for being here.
You're very welcome.
And we'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this brief timeout.
CTX can help you negotiate your best deal. We've been your home team advantage for over a decade. Call us today because at CTX, local service still matters.
Yeah, with CTX, you're homeward bound.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo Free Checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
What do you know about the gross receipts tax being proposed in Carson City? This new tax will cost more than $30 million to implement, require lots of new state employees, and take 2 years to generate $1. It will create Nevada's own IRS, forcing anyone who's in business to file a state tax return 4 times a year. The new state agency will have access to all your personal, federal, and business tax returns to make sure you comply. Nevada doesn't need more tax collectors. Call your legislator now and just say no to the gross receipts tax.
At Sushi Club, everybody's family. That's what makes dining here so much fun. The sushi is consistently better, the atmosphere is great, and the service is wonderful.
Welcome to the bigger and better Sushi Club. Come in for our delicious daily specials.
When you're talking sushi, you're talking Sushi Club in the Independence Square Shopping Center.
Walk into the Cactus Creek Bar and Grill at the Bonanza Casino, and you know you're in for a very special evening. Enjoy the southwestern atmosphere of some of the best gourmet food in Reno. It starts right here with Chef Bruce Norman and his talented staff. From buffalo T-bone to martini scampi and peppercorn duck. There's fine wine, specialty margaritas, and our pastry chefs create award-winning desserts. The Cactus Creek in the Bonanza Casino, 1 mile north of the university, where locals come to play.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
Senator Warren Hardy of Las Vegas has a unique perspective on construction defects.
Thank you for being here, Warren.
Thanks for
You
having
have, you're vice chairman of the Senate Commerce Committee. As such, you're looking into construction defects right now.
That's correct.
How is it looking? What kind of proposal do you think we're going to end up with as far as homeowners are concerned?
Well, I think we're going to end up with a good proposal at the end of the day. You know, watching the process of legislation unfold is not always a pretty sight, and I think some bills were killed in the Assembly, some bills were killed in the Senate. But I think the focus now is starting to focus on Senate Bill 241, which is the coalition bill that's been worked on during the interim.
What does this mean for the public?
Well, I think that what it means for the public is we have a system that's broken right now. You know, during the debate, or during the hearing on the issue, the trial lawyers brought in a stack of papers about that thick that said, you know, these people are not getting their homes fixed, and construction companies and contractors are not making offers to fix their homes. Well, I think that's the point of the industry, that under Chapter 40, which is the current law that deals with construction defect, homes are not being repaired. I think that's the point. Once it gets to Chapter 40, they're not being fixed. There's offers made prior to that, but once it gets into court, these things are not being taken care of. And that's a frustrating thing for the homeowners. The homeowners should have the ability to have their homes repaired without going to court. And I think Senate Bill 241 will effectively do that.
Lay out the timelines for us, if you will.
Well, I think, you know, currently it can take 4 or 5 years for a construction defect suit to get through the courts. What the bill proposes is that you're given 3 or 4 months, I think, I can't remember exactly the number.
150 days?
To repair the defect. But the contractor has to be notified. Under the current law, there's no requirement to notify the contractor. In fact, of those, I went through that stack of papers, and I'm sure many of those contractors were never even notified there was a problem until there was a lawsuit. So if we can get the contractor together with the homeowner with some requirement, some force of law that will require the contractor to act, I think that's going to be very effective in helping the homeowners address their problems.
You want to ask, I know you've been involved in this personally, so.
Well, no, I just think that there's a great need for this, and certainly, you know, in my own home, I didn't want to involve the lawyers in there. I just want to get the thing fixed, and things took forever to get fixed, and in a lot of cases, the homeowner, in my case, just gave up and just did it themselves.
Right, and that's the nice thing about Senate Bill 241 is it maintains completely the homeowner's ability to access the courts. There's nothing in there that prevents, if the homeowner's not happy with the repair or not happy with the pace of the repair, to going to court and accessing the courts. Accessing the courts is a very important thing for homeowners to be able to do if they're dissatisfied with the repair or the pace of the repair, and 241 preserves that.
Warren, you have sort of an interesting history. Back in 1991, you were elected to the Assembly, Republican in the Assembly, and that was when the bat tax was first envisioned, and you voted against that. But what happened when you run for re-election?
Well, I voted against the bat tax, but you know, there was such an anti-incumbency feeling after that session that a lot of us were swept out. And I was in a fairly heavy Democratic district and as you know, a fairly conservative Republican, and that didn't necessarily bode well with the voters either. So I lost narrowly, but I did lose.
But now you're back as a senator, and what are you hit with right away?
I got to quit running for office apparently, because every time I come up here, we got a major tax.
Apparently so. Senator Raggio, on one of our very first programs, said that people shouldn't worry about re-election. They need to do the right thing, and if raising taxes is the right thing, they should do it, and the public will understand. How do you feel about that?
I agree with that. You know, first of all, I think if you can defend your action, the voters are willing to listen, and the voters are willing to understand what you did. If they feel like that you've done something for politically motivated reasons, that's more damaging than voting on something that might be unpopular. So I agree with that 100%.
But how are you finding the gross receipts tax among your peers in the Senate? Is that popular?
No, the gross receipts tax is not popular, and partially because the case hasn't been completely made that that's the best tax to go forward with. I will say that I think there's a general feeling that something needs to be done, that we do need to start looking for a tax that will have the effect of meeting the shortfall, but also of stabilizing the tax base. I don't believe the gross receipts tax does that, so I think we've got a lot of work left to do.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, even though gaming, mining, and culinary thinks that that is the way to go.
Well, let's not forget, I mean, the gaming, mining, culinary, other folks have their special interests too. They have ulterior motives about what they want to see accomplished.
No,
so
Senator Hardy.
You have to keep that in mind.
Thanks so much for being here, Senator Warren Hardy. Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
I just can't believe that.
Wisdom.
We'll be right back.
Wisdom is just...
Enjoy news and a hot brew at Tamarack Junction. Stop in on your way to or from work, follow the market on one of our 32 TVs, and enjoy some fresh brewed coffee and a hot meal. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
Nevada should have a tax system that is fair and balanced, a system that taxes high-end services for the first time, while giving families a tax break by reducing the sales tax on common household products and other major purchases. With businesses and consumers working together, we can have a tax system that is fair to all and meets the growth needs of our state into the future. The legislature in Carson City is currently working on a new tax bill. Call them right now. Tell them you want a lower state sales tax.
We've loosened our machines. We've given you the Gold Dust West Gold Rush Club, Reno's best slot club. You can win lots of jackpots. Play longer. Your points will add up faster than you think. Yeah, we're loose and we're not screwing around. See you at the Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
Treat yourself to a late-night pick-me-up with Hobo Bob's Happy Hour at Tamarack Junction. Enjoy a delicious selection of food and drink specials every day from midnight to 3 a.m. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
Time for the Pundits section here on Nevada Newsmakers. We have a terrific lineup for you today. Jack Vergiels is with us. He is a lobbyist. And we also have Mary Lau. Welcome her back. And she is with the Nevada Retail Association. And Daryl Capurro, who is with is the executive director of the Nevada Motor Transportation Association.
Trucks. We're talking trucks.
Well, fine. And we have some disclaimers.
Yes. Well, first, no, I have an update to bring everybody. Okay. The judge in Illinois finally said no, Philip Morris did not have to put up all that money. Therefore, the $16 million that was due Nevada for the Millennium Scholarships did come in yesterday or last night, so we're okay on that subject. And we do have to disclaim that Mary Lau is a sponsor of this program.
Proud sponsor.
Right. And but that never stopped us from bashing anybody.
No, it never did.
You know.
And
proud sponsor.
There is a campaign going on in favor of the services tax, and they are also sponsors of the show. We like to get the disclaimers out of the way, and then we can go attack our guests, and nobody cares. So it's a good thing. All right, let's talk about this. Greg Ferraro, Mary, was on the program earlier this week, and he said this is a key week for taxes. Is it?
I think that it's probably going to be, because what it's going to start is the process of the amalgamation of taxes. As you know, some of the tax bills, quote unquote, died, and then some of the other tax bills remained, and I think by Thursday some of the chairmen have indicated they're going to start putting together their bills. So what's going to happen is the cafeteria plan is now starting to arise.
Jack, you're a former majority leader of the Senate, a former Speaker of the Assembly, all for Democrats. Is this a key week for everybody for taxes, do you think?
No, I don't think it is. I think that it's a key week for gaming.
Why?
It's a key week because this will be the big push to try to put gross receipts over the top. And it's going to be very difficult to do that.
It's already over the top.
It's already up there.
All right, okay, for the folks who are watching at home, explain what you mean. Explain what you mean.
I think that, gaming has an awful lot in the line to get this gross receipts tax on to show the strength that they feel they have. And they have lagged behind in terms of getting votes, and now they're making a big push. This week will be important. They're going to have to get maybe 5 or 6 people to switch from something else to gross receipts tax.
Well, let me ask you this, and I'd like an answer from everybody just
Sure.
quickly. Is gaming driving the governor, or is the governor driving gaming?
I'll answer that. I think right now the governor has been using a broad-based tax in all of his statements. One that's broad-based. He has not been saying gross receipts. The gamers are still using the term gross receipts and pushing that, and of course they're strong enough as a group to keep it in the forefront. If it was not gaming pushing this right now, it would be gone.
Andy, in answer to a question that you asked the rest of them, in my view, the most important week of any legislative session is the last week, and it's going to be the same situation here.
This isn't going to be done early and sent over to the
That's a possibility, especially if the legislature decides they would like to send something over early and force him to either sign it or veto it, and give them the opportunity to override the veto.
Daryl, you raised you raised an interesting point at the press conference about the tax on services and economic growth in the state of Nevada, which really nobody has addressed this session, although we need to. Could you quickly repeat that for everyone?
Yes, I think lost in the shuffle in trying to analyze what is in the coalition's bill with respect to service transaction taxes is the fact that it reduces the sales tax from, in Washoe County and in Clark County particularly, from 7.25% on products down to 5%. That's a big deal with respect to some industries, mine in particular. My interstate carriers in that purchase replacement equipment every year, and that in some cases they spend anywhere from $10 to $50 million in acquiring replacement equipment and rolling stock. And since the bids on those vehicles are the same whether they take possession of them in Utah or in Nevada, what it boils down to is where are they going to pay the least tax? If we reduce the tax in Nevada to 5%, it's my view that it'll do two things. First of all, it will stimulate sales, which is good for truck dealers in the state of Nevada. They will be getting sales that they couldn't get before. And it will increase the overall sales tax that's collected, because now Nevada will be collecting it instead of Utah. Utah and some other states are as much as a point or more lower. And when you're looking at anywhere from $10 to $20 million worth of purchases, that savings of 1% amounts to 1 or 2 power units. And believe me, the people that I represent are good at sharpening their pencil and figuring out where they're going to save their money.
Jack, Speaker Perkins said that no bill that doesn't contain a broad-based business tax is going to get through. How do you, when you're the Speaker and you've been the Speaker, how do you twist arms to get people to your way of thinking?
Well, I would assume that he's had a caucus already where he's got a pretty good indication that he's going to carry a heavy majority of their members. However, there's only 23 Democrats and 19 Republicans. He needs 28 votes to get that into fruition.
But what does he do? What's the methodology here?
Pounding the table.
What do you do? I mean, we want to know. The whole idea of this show is to open things up and explain how the process works. How does it work?
No, he is developing into a good leader. He's trustworthy. He's honest. The caucus respects him.
All right,
in
you
my
got
opinion.
your brownie points.
And I think for that reason that what he says carries a lot of weight with the group itself.
Do you hold bills hostage?
Well, I think there's going to have to be a different approach made this session with respect to any of the tax bills. There's obviously a huge gap between the idea of a gross receipts tax and a services tax, and you have major players on both sides, Republican and Democrat, that have embraced, look at the Care Amity bill or Amity Care bill, even though it died for last Friday because of the deadline dates. That's still very much in play.
I've got to let Mary get in here. Mary,
Well, I'm being very polite
because
I absolutely adore these people, but
Go for it,
I tell you what, this is a vital week, and it's a vital week because, like Jack said, gaming, and we have to make a policy decision in this state. Are we going to do what's best for Nevada? And what's best for Nevada is not a gross receipts tax. It does not stimulate the economy. It's not going to do anything to help, and a services tax is a broad-based business tax. So everybody can win on this and spin it any way they want to, but there's $400 million per year of business services that aren't being tapped in this state. It is money that has been exempted ever since the state has been established. It's time to spread it out and to give consumers a break.
Okay, you
consumers
got
deserve it, Lord.
5 seconds to tell us what really goes on in those back rooms. What
You
power does
make
that?
deals, you promise votes on other bills, you hold other bills hostages. It's everything's in the air. Jack's right. Speaker Perkins is
We gotta
determined
go.
to be very
Thank you, Mary. We'll be right back.
If you're talking sushi, you're talking Sushi Club. Year after year voted the best place for sushi. 11 chefs on staff to serve you. Better ingredients for consistent high quality. And lots of room, so bring your friends. Sushi Club in the Independence Square Shopping Center.
My name is Larry Rackley. I'm an energy educator. Every day, I teach customers ways to save energy and save on their monthly bills. This is work I take pride in because, like 1,400 other employees at Sierra Pacific Power Company, I'm a customer too.
CTX can help you negotiate your best deal. We've been your home team advantage for over a decade. Call us today because at CTX, local service still matters.
Yeah, with CTX, you're homeward bound.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, consistently voted Reno's best buffet by locals. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch.
Atlantis.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Tomorrow, the Lieutenant Governor, and guess what? We have Danny Thompson taking on Andy Barbano.
That will be quite a show. We'll see you tomorrow.